Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. And we are bringing you the brand new Vibe 3S high definition smartwatch, brand new for 2021. Inside here, we've got what we've seen before, basically the Vibe 3S, but a pump up in the colorful screen, 360 by 360 pixel resolution. It's a very nice ruggedized looking watch with a removable band, charging port. Looks like we may have plastic over the heart rate detector. Be sure you check that and peel it off whenever you get yours on any smartwatch. Make sure that you're getting the best signal. It has a power icon here, mode, it says, for the two buttons. And inside the box itself, we've got a manual and another little box, which I'll tell you about after I let you know there's a couple of places you can get this one. From the AliExpress ZEBLAZE official store, the brand new 3S HD is available. Check the show notes for a buying link to pick it up there. Or, if you'd like, you can get it from Banggood. Yep, Banggood's offering it as well. They're currently in flash deal. Again, a link is in the show notes. We're looking at a 1.3-inch screen at 360 by 360 is going to be really, really sharp resolution on it. So for the specs on this one, it's a customizable dial. It has really long 25-day standby battery life, and it's using Bluetooth 5.0, which gives you better overall connection and faster data speeds. What else can I tell you? Fit Cloud Pro is the app. We got a variety of languages supported. IP67 waterproof for splash resistance. Got the standard heart rate, step tracking, all of that. Over 50 plus personalized watch faces you can put in this one. You've got, alarms, stopwatch, countdown timers. Basically the standard stuff we've seen on most of them. And a little charger that connects to the watch with two pins. Little 2-pin magnetic coupler. Whoop, this way. There we go. Not quite strong enough to hold the watch. Yeah, but strong enough to hold it for charging. Okay, we'll charge it up then, and we'll check it out. Whoa, wait a minute. I forgot the manual. I knew I was moving fast. Here we go. There's the QR code that you can scan for the Tethering app. Some more information. Really tiny print in the manual, relatively small. Mostly talking about how you can pair it and how you can change the faces and whatnot. And then we're into the Chinese side. All right, now we'll take a look at it. Here it is on. Press the top button and hold it. It'll activate it. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Vibration. And you saw it there for a second, came up with one of the watch faces installed. So I'm going to run through and show you some stuff on this watch. And you may have noticed that a little bit more time between each of the watch reviews. That way I can wear them and test them a little bit more. And I've got some interesting things to show you about this particular watch. Here's our Do Not Disturb mode. You can go into settings. Information about it is right here. And notice how small the writing is. That's because of the high density of pixels on this one. You got a brightness control here. You can bring it way up bright or way, way down. And it's a slider, which is kind of fun. And find your phone, battery level, Bluetooth connection, and time. Got to be quick. That's all when you swipe down. When you swipe up, you get any of your messages pushed from your phone, and they are readable, and they are tiny print, so you get the whole thing on there. Yeah, pretty slick. When you go over to the left, you get the data related to your step count information. You get your sporting activities. We've got walking, running, hiking. There's actually 24 of them, they say, but it's only showing a small subset of them right here. You've got heart rate, which is going to immediately go in and do the reading for you. You've got last night's sleep time showing up here with deep and light. You've got blood pressure, which will happen right here. After a while, you'll get your readings, and you got blood oxygen as well showing up right here. So those individual measurements can be made from the watch itself. You notice it showed the last one for a few seconds, then went out, and now it's assessing to give me the new one. But we can also do that from the app, which is kind of more convenient. There's an onboard music player and weather in your area that is tethered from your watch once you set that all up. You have a stopwatch in here, which is counting down to the hundredths of a second. A nice thing is it actually shows the time of day as well. And when you leave the stopwatch, well, you can't. You actually have to stop it before you can leave it. So it'll always be on and always be running, this stopwatch. Messages we showed you, find your phone is basic, and then in the settings, we got to that from up above before, you have display. Now, here's where you have your different dials, and we've got a few of them. This is one pretty one there. There's a very colorful one, and another one like a flower. Kind of feminine focus, it looks like. There's a big round white one, and then a really soft red one that I downloaded from the store so that I could have that one on at night. We'll show you those two in a little bit. That was over here under settings, under display. We also have brightness you've already seen. We can change the screen time from 5 seconds to 9 for how long it will be on, but of course it's going to use up more battery. Both brighter screen and longer screen time will do that. And here's your twist your wrist to see the time and how long it will stay on display. So many times they are so short that you look at it and it's gone. Well, I just set it up to 6 seconds, so when you twist your wrist it should be on long enough to even talk about it, right? Okay, where was I? Vibration intensity. Since there's no sound in this watch, oh yeah, that's good. I like it good and strong, so you recognize it. There's no speaker, there's no sound, so you really rely on the vibration. Your overall languages that are supported by the watch are here, with the definition in English of what the language is, in case you are like me and can't even recognize some of them. And we're set for English. You've got the QR code for downloading the, what is it, the Fit Pro, something or other. We'll show you that app in a minute. Fit Cloud Pro, I believe. And then system, basically about, shut down, and reset. Not much else available there. And that's in the overall settings, which is the last of the things here, which is what we got to by swiping to the right. So we've gone up, down, right, and we got to go to the left. And now you get into all of the widgets going around. There's your pedometer stuff, which we already saw, heart rate, sleep time, and that's it. It doesn't give you blood pressure, blood oxygen, just those 3 things plus time. So let's bring the app over and see what it can do. Again, it's Fit Cloud Pro. We've reviewed that several times with other devices, and this shows a subset of some of the things that are available when you have a more sophisticated device. But it's pretty decent. You've got sleep, heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen. Those are the main criteria, plus step count, of course, that it tracks. So you get in here, you see your steps as bar charts by time during the day of the day. You can go week and month, and all of that's available. Sleep, here is last night's sleep time. No, I'm not going to bore you again with showing you the sleep time charts of all the other devices I own. Some of you guys are really ragging on me for that. What, Mr. Tix, you just sleep your life away? What? Anyway, last night, total, deep, light, and awake. There's no REM sleeping on this one, and it's basically a little chart, but it's kind of cool that it explodes the rectangles and shows you the time that you were in those zones. So everybody does sleep time differently. It is kind of fun to look at how they implement it. That's kind of nice. If it included REM, that would be really great. But that's complicated, especially if you then throw the red diode technology into it for assessing nighttime sleep apnea. But this doesn't do any of that. This is a basic, fun, thin smartwatch. Well, relatively thin, a little thicker than some of the others we've seen. Okay, heart rate, here you go. Now, two things I want to show you on this one. One, you can start it from here, and it actually is going to invoke the heart rate without even waking the watch up. So this is a great COVID watch in a sense that you could put it on somebody who is working their way through the virus, and you're trying to determine their vitals without having to disturb them or even go into the room if they're isolated, as long as you're Bluetooth connected. With a watch that has an app that allows you to take the measurements remotely, then you're in good business. Now, this one in particular I like because you get the heart rate, but you see how it's changing? It gives it long enough. It's going to do it for a whole minute before it gives you the final number. So you're going to get a highest, an average, and a lowest zone for that reading. So in case the person is like me and moving around and you're getting some erroneous values over that long of a period of time, and being able to loop talk without taking a breath. If you noticed how I'm able to do that these days, it took a lot of work to get to this point. You can't even tell when I inhale. Okay, there we are. Stop. 77 was the average in that minute-long period. And that's what you're getting for the value. And that's an instantaneous value. Then you see these things down here. Now, this is really cool because part of what you're doing when you're mitigating an infection or disease or something is monitoring stuff over time. And this is the daily average on January the 22nd with the chart. It's showing pretty much, I don't know what the increment is, but every few moments, I guess, your overall highest and lowest and average. I wore it the whole day on the 22nd, and that's what it came up with for that day. Now, the bad news. There's got to be bad news, right? Here's today. Wow! No, I didn't get excited about anything. I took it off. I wasn't wearing it. Bad news. Look at this. I'm getting heart rates from 56 to 140. It's all over the place. This is a drawback of this particular watch, and one you got to watch for, pardon the pun, if you don't wear it. If you're putting it down, taking a shower, leaving it off to charge, whatever, during that time frame, it's reading thin air in a sense, and it's not reading it accurately. So we have lows and highs that are outrageous. The average, unfortunately, all of that data is computed in the average, including these high numbers. This is probably why this is up to 88, because it's got some erroneous data in here. And my true average is 60 from the day before. Okay? So be careful. It's great for accumulating this, but if you're going to do that, wear it all the time. Yeah, that's for heart rate. Now let's look at what it does with blood pressure. Same kind of thing. Here I've got my reading. I can start it. I could go through another minute. It'll show you my high, both systolic and diastolic, and my low, and then the average of all of that taken together to give you the final number. Pretty sophisticated, if it only were accurate. We don't know the accuracy. Each person has to test it on their own. You really need to run it on here and then use a cuff or the doctor's numbers that you're doing it at the same time so you can calibrate it. If you're normally 124 over 84, then add 220 to this and 10 to that, whatever you get, and maybe that's closer. This doesn't have the ability for you to put in a personal number like some of the apps do, so you have to figure that out on your own. That's really low for me. I'm probably more like 128, 125, somewhere in there. So this daily is a little bit better. Now look at this. Here's the whole chart. And again, here's where I had it off. So look at these numbers jumping all over the place when I'm not wearing the watch. But here I did have it on. And so it's a little more reasonable. But you can see over the whole 24 hours, if I had it on, the averaging out of the numbers should give me something probably more close to what I really am. And you'd see how much of a deviation there is between the lowest and the highest. The closer all of that is together, the more the bell curve is towards the center of your average, then the more likely that that's a valid number for your overall blood pressure. Following me on that? Okay, good. Now, last thing is blood oxygen. And this is the one we're all concerned about because COVID in particular affects the lungs, breathing, and getting good oxygen is important. You really don't want it to fall below 90, I believe is the magic number. You get down in the 80s and you're looking at ventilators? Anyway, I'm going to start it just to show you. Again, it's a 60-second thing, and it's doing it automatically on my arm while we're sitting here talking. And I'm not going to let it run the whole way, but I'm just going to let it pop up with a number for you. Typically between 95 and 99 is what I get, and it's taking longer than normal. Most of the blood oxygen ones are pretty close to right away. Okay, it's at 99, but it's still reading. It's going to read for another 30 seconds and adjust. So you see how the average is at 98 with a low of 98, high of 99, and so forth. So it goes through, it computes the whole thing, and if you stop it abruptly, it'll show you the latest numbers where you're at. And just like the other ones, we go in here, we get the continuous monitored blood oxygen over time. So here is where you could really, I don't know how you get 102 and 110%. That's wild. I think they need to work on their axis a little bit. You can't have more oxygen than 100%. Anyway, you can see I'm down 95 is that line, so I'm between 95 and 100 pretty much across the board on that particular day. And here's the other one. And look at that, really smooth. This is the day I wore it the whole time. And the other one is when I took it off. Of course, it's the same for all of them. I took it off sometime around here. And it's a bit erratic, but it's a bit erratic here too. So I'm not sure about the blood oxygen reading on this. If you have a way for yourself to verify with a finger thing from the grocery store or the pharmacy that measures blood oxygen and compare it to your reading on here, I'd highly recommend that before you rely on this continuous blood oxygen reading device of being accurate, or even the spontaneous measurement you take here. Now, the good news is all of these measurements, heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, you can get to by hitting health measurement, a one-time check for you busy people with a COVID patient in the other room, but you got to get off to school or work or whatever. You hit that one button, you give it for 2 minutes, I think it is, and it will compute the heart rate, the blood pressure, and the blood oxygen as if you were doing each of them individually right here. Now, there you go. 2 of them have popped in already. Blood pressure always takes a bit longer. It's not recorded anywhere, so you have to do a screenshot with something with showing the date and time if you want to archive that particular reading, because it's doing the continuous readings elsewhere. Okay, we got that. So you come over here. Well, I guess it might be. Is it 1219? Yeah. So it's only going to show you the most recent one here. In other words, you can't get to a place where you can see all of the points, right? Nope. But you can get to where you see the continuous chart. So you've got the continuous chart, and you can tap on any place and see the number, but the instantaneous ones that you take are only here. So on this one, I just do 3 fingers, and I make a screenshot of it. If I wanted to keep that information, I just did. Okay. Wow, thanks for sticking with me with all this. That's the whole enchilada for home. Then you go to your device. This is where you have the device connected, and this stuff that you have control over. Sedentary reminders, drinking water, weather reports if you want, whether you want to twist your wrist to see the time. There's the enhanced measurements for continuing monitoring or not. If you're not going to use it, turn it off. You get longer battery life out of your watch. Where it's located, 12 or 24 hours, shake to take a picture with the camera on your phone, that's a remote trigger, and then dial settings. And here you go. These are all the extra dials you can install. That red one that I showed you was way down in here somewhere, I think. Anyway, we've got a bunch of different designs. Yeah, that one there, I believe, is the one that I put on for nighttime if I wanted it dim at night. But you've got full bright ones if you want it lit up bright at night, and all kinds of other different colorful ones. I was curious about this one. It's kind of a funky 3D thing. So I'll show you. I'm going to sync it. It downloads it first from the server to the phone. Now later, you'll find it up here where it said My Dial or Dial Center. You'll see that it's in My Dial. So it makes it easier for you to transfer it to the watch if you want to. And now you see it says it's updating. If you've already downloaded it. That means you don't have to be in an internet connection in order to get the dial. You've already got the dial. So you could do this anywhere as long as you've got Bluetooth connection between your phone and your watch for the dials that you have downloaded. Sure, you could download all of them if you want to. Doesn't take up much room. I'll be back when it's done. There we go. Yep. I love that. Look at how the 3D-ness of it. It looks like you're looking into the cube or around it, or it's coming out at you. Now notice I pushed the button to light it up, and since I set it for a much longer, don't dim out on me, a much longer dim out time, it's not just coming on and going off within a couple of seconds. So that's nice. Like I said, you go to My Dial. These are the 3 that I've downloaded already, but you can only have one of them on the watch at a time. The other ones that you see in here are the stock ones. See, that's the last one. So that big boy, that colorful one we saw earlier, and that one are basically the faces that are stock, and you have flexibility to add one more to the device. That's pretty much everything related to the band itself. You can update it with firmware if you need to, restore the factory settings, and of course unbind it. And mine is where you set up your own ID, which you create when you first put in the app and log into it, set it up. You can tether it to Google Fit, so all your exercise stuff will go there. Change your goals, your units, of course, metric or imperial in these different functions, including the temperature that we saw in the weather. And we run an overall settings in here where you can manage your account and run in the background the app and all those kind of things for optimal use of the app together with the device itself. So, one more thing to let you know. So I set this here so I would remember. It's using Bluetooth 5.0 for connection to the phone with this watch. It's a good thing to start looking for because it has better use of power in the communication. Twice as fast communication speed. You saw how quickly it was starting to download that watch face compared to others we've seen. And this is what's really important. You lock in and don't lose your connection. It's 4 times better at holding the connection than the old Bluetooth 4.2 was. So start looking for Bluetooth 5 connectivity on your devices. You can get this watch if you like it. It's the new high-definition version of the ZEBLAZE Vibe 3S directly from the AliExpress official store. It's the new 2021 version. Check the show notes for a link. Or head on over to Banggood. Both these guys are sponsoring this one, and you can pick it up on flash sale right now. And if it's past flash sale when you're watching this, check the show notes, and hopefully I'll have a coupon for you to pick it up still at a good price. Either way, we appreciate it when you use the links we've got here because it helps us out at the channel to continue getting these wonderful watches for review. And that's it, gang. Enjoy this one. It looks like it's kind of fun. It's very ruggedized. Nice rubberized band on it, and yeah, removable. Sweet. Oh, no new messages, just actually touched it. And yeah, lots of capabilities for it. The Vibe 3S HD. We'll see you again soon.